Hi, Noor. Hi, Sharon.
Hi,
Hello.
Dr. Reem.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I'm so pleased that you came all the way from Dubai to Egypt just to be in this podcast.
It's our pleasure.
And I hope it will be beneficial for every woman who will hear us. We'll have some cards with us, some myths and facts, and some information that we should. It's like a card game. We will do this, and we will answer the questions, hopefully, and we'll have some fun.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So shall we start? So we have this question for all of us. What is the difference between a gynecologist, a hormonal therapist, and when should a woman see each?
That's a very good question.
Very good question.
I think in my case, I'm a menstrual cycle coach, so I have qualifications. I understand what's happening hormonally across the life transitions of a woman. So I can help with understanding what she's going through, supporting her through diet, nutrition changes and healthy lifestyle habits to improve her symptoms. It's not my place to diagnose. It's not my place to prescribe any medication. That's where you come in. So I always work in collaboration with doctors. So we can have the full picture of what's going on, and I can help her get to the root cause of the problem through her lifestyle and daily habits.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think what Noel said is correct. Like, I'm a menopause coach. Women need more than me to help them navigate, this stage of life, even from periods to post. And I think it's really important that when women are looking for help in these areas, they search for qualified people. And it's like an ecosystem. We're there, they'll come and see you, for example. A lot of doctors will say to me, I've only got 6 minutes with my patient, therefore they need that backup after I've given them what they need to navigate it. So I think it's really important, that they find the right people who are educated and qualified to go to them, to help them, and they search out what they need. Some people might need a hormonal coach, a perimenopause coach, a psychologist, gynecologist, nutritionalist, so it's a whole, there's that saying, you need a family to raise a child. Well, it's the same thing. A woman needs that community around her to help navigate these stages.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then they come to me.
And then they come to you.
To get diagnosed and to get the treatment, to get the medication, or maybe sometimes surgery.
Holistic therapy, surgery, whatever it might be. I think there's no one track for a woman. It's the same road, but with different avenues that we can go down to get where we want to be, to the end journey, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A myth to bust. Okay. Irregular cycles in puberty always mean something is wrong. That's a question for me, actually. Well, irregular cycles are not always a problem, because usually all girls, when they first have their period, when it's in their puberty, they all have irregular cycles, or most of them have irregular cycles. Some have a cycle for 1 month, and then it will stop for 6 whole months, or maybe 1 whole year. We will not regard this as a problem. We will just reassure the family, the moms, and that it is a normal thing that might happen to all young girls in their puberty, early puberties, of course. But when she grows up, then most girls should have a regular cycle. And here also the definition of regular cycle differs a lot. So I think it's a myth.
Same applies also for the perimenopause transition. They start getting irregular before eventually stopping.
It's different but it's always similar because of the different hormones. Because usually hormones fluctuate a lot. It goes up and goes down. So in both sides of the puberty,
spectrum,
spectrum, puberty and menopause or perimenopause, we do have fluctuation of hormones, which really, really affects lifestyle.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's
Shall
our
I
first
ask the
myth.
next question?
Yes, please.
Yes. Let me shuffle them.
Shuffle.
Another myth to bust: missing periods from stress or training isn't a concern. What do you think about this?
It is a concern because, like 90%, there is a pathology under that. And any girl that trains really hard training, especially girls who are in competitions, who go into the Olympics, they don't eat well. So we have something called the hypothalamo-pituitary ovarian axis, which is an axis of hormones. It starts in your brain and reaches your ovary. So if you don't eat well, then you don't have enough fat. You don't have and also the cortisol will go high. That's the stress hormone. She will stop having her period, so she should seek for help. This is not a healthy thing. Also, there's other girls who really go into severe starvation. They want to be thin. I think you see a lot of these girls. They stop eating. When they look at the mirror, they see that she's still fat and she needs to lose weight. So it's called anorexia nervosa, and she loses the control over her hormones, and she will stop her period also.
And combine that with stress that teenagers seem to be going through a lot more than probably when I was a teenager as well. They've got that, lifestyle factor on top of that as so I think there's a lot of girls heading towards that, really. I think. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Card?
Oh, it's my turn. That's a shake. Okay, so I've got asked someone, this is one for you, how does PCOS present across life stages? I think this is for both of you, really.
In my experience, I've seen a lot of young girls, actually, like you mentioned, having irregular cycles at the start of puberty. And unfortunately, there's a trend of thinking that this is something not normal and being put on birth control from this young age to mimic having a regular cycle, which I think is devastating for the progression of how the normal hormones start to develop. I also see a lot of women only getting diagnosed with PCOS once they start trying to conceive and they find out that something's wrong with their ovulation. So it really depends at which stage the diagnosis happens and what's going on for them at this specific stage. Are they pre-conception or post-conception, closer to the perimenopause stages? It can be very different from one to...
I'd like to add something here, because a polycystic ovary, as a PCOS, is not a disease, by the way. It is a syndrome. Syndrome means multiple symptoms. You have to have 3 symptoms minimum in order for me to diagnose this as a polycystic ovary disease. I see a lot of women who have children, have regular cycles, and everything is normal. And then she comes, and by ultrasound, you discover that she has polycystic ovary. Because polycystic ovary, you should diagnose it with ultrasound. Sometimes the hormonal levels are all within normal. Sometimes she has irregular periods or no periods at all, or she has difficulty in having children, or hirsutism. Hirsutism is having excessive hair in places where she shouldn't have. So it depends what is she coming to me complaining of. She might have hormone therapy. It might help. She might have fertility therapy. She might have therapy for the excessive hair. So it depends what she is complaining of. So that's how it changes.
That was exactly my case, actually, before I discovered I had PCOS. My doctors dismissed it because I always had a very regular cycle. So they told me that's not an issue. But I did have exhibit symptoms of everything else except this one, and it was dismissed. And it's only post childbirth that I was eventually diagnosed.
Yeah, but if you don't have symptoms, you don't need treatment, by the way. And also nutrition, really.
I was just going to say,
yes, exercise.
Yeah, we are finding a lot of the younger generation suffering with this. Do you think it's down to lifestyle and exercise as well?
Yes,
so there's more education needed.
You have to advise always to lose weight in a healthy way, of course, and do any type of exercise and eat well. This is really a key for polycystic ovary.
For everything, I guess.
Yeah, for everything. Yeah. Okay, so I'll shuffle. I have a question. What it feels like to hear everything is normal? Okay, we can all answer this question, of course.
I mean, I think from my obviously I look after people in the peri to post-menopause. A lot of women go to doctors and they're often said everything's normal because we rely on blood tests.
Also, just like the example she just said.
Yeah, exactly.
I have nothing, no symptoms.
So, I think more education around what is normal, what does that look like, and what's outside of that normal, how do they get treated, and what's
Also,
the journey for them.
Yeah, one more thing in everything is normal is that we women or girls, from the point that you have your puberty till after menopause, we go through a lot, and we are always told it's normal. Everyone is the same. Like when you have pain in your periods, everyone has pain in her periods. So why do you complain? Just take an analgesic and that's it. And that's a wrong thing, really. You have to pay attention to each symptom, to any complaint, and then look for a reason. If you don't have a reason, then okay, everything is normal. But you have to look first for the reason.
If you're experiencing symptoms, there's
something there
your
showing.
body's
There should be
communicating
something
showing up. Yeah.
And sometimes the hormones are okay, the ultrasound is okay, but I'm not feeling well.
Yes, it's important to listen to that gut feeling.
Yeah.
Shall I do the next question?
Yes, please.
Another myth. Pelvic health only matters after childbirth. What do you think about that?
No, pelvic health matters all your life. And of course, you train girls, little girls, so they should have strong pelvic muscles in order to be able to bear children and to give birth to children. And afterwards, pregnancy and delivery, either normal or C-section, will weaken your pelvis. When your pelvic muscles are weak, then you might have symptoms like stress incontinence, which is leaking of urine, which is, by the way, for the first question, when you said, is it normal? A lot of women, unfortunately, think it's normal.
As you get to a certain age,
yes,
of course.
They will say, all old ladies, I'm not saying old, I don't mean old. I mean, all women in a certain age will leak urine, which is, no, it's not normal. This is because of your weak pelvic muscles, and you lose some hormones which will support your pelvis. Also, there is a disease, or it's a disorder. It's when you have a pelvic floor muscle descent. When the pelvic floor is weak, then all the organs in your pelvis just go down.
Drop.
They collapse.
Yes, it's called prolapse.
Yeah.
So it depends on the strength of prolapse. Do you only have the vagina, or is it the cervix, or is it the whole uterus? It's outside of your body. So this, of course, needs to be treated surgically.
And I think when it comes to women's health, and especially in the vagina area, it's that taboo of not being able to talk about it. But these are real problems that women actually, go through. So it's having that education and awareness, and
even at a young age.
Even at the younger age, it's like not being, fearful of going and having that conversation, because there's so much they can do now. There's estrogen, localized estrogen gels that can be utilized, and lots of different treatments now that wasn't available probably 10 years ago, or they were, but not as available as they are now. So I think it's really important.
It's really important because in the previous generation, 2 generations, they were not told anything about hormone replacement.
Nothing.
Which is very bad. And we saw a lot of women going through really bad days, having fractures, having stress incontinence, which is leaking of urine, having descents, having mood swings, having a lot of things. And they were told, please, there's nothing to do. Just you have to tolerate it.
Yeah, just accept it. So this is a discussion: how cycle changes silently shape your confidence.
Very interesting. I think that there's so much that our hormones are responsible of that we're not even aware. How estrogen can, when you're in your follicular and ovulation phase, this is the peak of estrogen during your cycle. It's really responsible for giving you more energy. You're better at communicating, and you feel better overall. So I feel that this is the peak in the cycle where you show confidence. It's really the perfect time of the cycle to communicate. If you have important work presentations to do, this is the best time, as opposed to post-ovulation, when this is the time where sorry, the hormones are
Sorry,
dropping
I get
a little
brain
bit.
fog. I'm menopausal, so it's fine.
Because of estrogen.
Yeah, lack of estrogen. Yeah.
Yeah, so the hormones are dropping a little bit, and this is when we want to be more introverted. We have some intrusive thoughts happening. So confidence drops with our hormones as they shift throughout the cycle. So if you want to focus on one time of the cycle where you have the most confidence and more energy boost, this is towards the follicular and ovulatory phases. So it's something to keep in mind for everyone, that we're not meant to be the same every single day.
We're not meant to be switched on all the time, which is what we're,
Of course.
we're sort of driven to be done these days.
Exactly.
And it was constantly.
We think that we need to be productive to have the same level of energy on a daily basis, but this is counterintuitive to our nature as women.
And then on the flip side of that, our confidence goes down as we get to the postmenopause because we don't have that estrogen boost.
Yeah.
So a lot of women are, in the heights of their careers who actually leave the workplace because they feel that they can't do their job effectively. They can't do the presentations because they forget things.
You know, Sharon, that this is the highest rate of divorce at this age.
It is as well. Yeah.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Because all women start rethinking how was my life, what did I do wrong, what did I do right, why is
I don't
this
even
person
think it's
treating me
that.
this way?
I think it's I think women sort of get to a point where they then, I hope that they go, this is my time now, and this doesn't serve me anymore, so this is what I need to do to be able to live. Because when we get to the postmenopause, we've got another 30, 40 years of our life to lead, so it's not, we don't kick our husbands out just because we're in that phase, but there's a lot of things moving, and that, going
but
back
at this
to the
time,
confidence.
it's also called the empty nest syndrome.
It is, yes.
So she's alone, her children are grown up, they got
Rediscovering
married,
yourself.
Yeah, I think
rediscovering
that's the
yourself.
case.
You should have time for yourself.
Yeah. So it's rebuilding that confidence that women want to re-enter the workplace as well, and they don't have the confidence because if we're not taking HRT or any hormonal, holistic therapies, we don't have that confidence in that estrogen boost and progesterone to help us do that. So it's confidence is a big thing when it comes to.
Yeah. Okay. So why women need more than one medical appointment? That's for you.
I do think that we need more than one medical appointment, just because we can't assess what's going on just on one random day. Hormones fluctuate throughout the cycle incredibly. So getting this just one snapshot doesn't give you like a full picture of the spectrum, what's going on throughout the cycle. So it's important to track the patterns to assess your symptoms. How are you feeling at different phases of the cycle? What's happening to you at morning? How do you wake up? Do you wake up energized or not? Throughout the day, do you have energy? Are you suffering with any symptoms that you can localize throughout the cycle? So it's important to get this full picture, not just a snapshot of one random day in your cycle.
I think it's important as well to say, to the listeners that the more information, we're driven by data now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So the more data that you have on you and you take to your doctor, your gynecologist, and you've got you're tracking your cycle, then you can present that information to them. That helps as well, because then they don't just send you randomly off a test that you don't necessarily need, because they've got the information right in front of them.
Yeah,
so
this is how important it is just to get to know information about yourself. Some women do not even know when was their last menstrual period.
Yeah,
So
I was one of them years ago, because we didn't have apps and tracks.
Well, I mean,
and
even if you have regular menstruation,
Yeah.
I would also advise them to write it down or have an application. You can write everything, all the information. When was the first day? Is it regular or not? You can know from your application.
Yeah. And take that with you to the doctor. It's essential.
It is. Yeah. To you, Sharon?
Okay. Why aren't girls taught what normal is in puberty?
They're not told.
They're not.
A lot of things.
I think there's still so much stigma and taboo about this whole topic. And this is why we're doing what we're doing. We want to create more awareness. But it pains me to see that young girls are still getting their period and not knowing anything about it and feeling scared, like what's happening to me, what's
Do you
going
know
on.
that the biggest problem also is that it is not normal for girls who are not married to go to see a gynecologist.
Absolutely.
This is a problem.
It's
We're starting
heartbreaking.
to see more these days, but it is
There's a
also-
shift happening,
yes.
but it's still
Yeah,
very
but
slow.
you're still young. You're not married. You're going to see a gynecologist. Why?
Why do you need that?
Yeah.
Yes. I think there's a lot also coming from that mothers themselves don't have this education. They don't know how their cycles work, what's going on. So
And they don't talk to their daughters.
Exactly. If the mother doesn't know, how will she pass this information down? So there's a lot of work to empower and to educate mothers so that they
Yes.
can pass down this information as well.
And to be fair to the mothers, it's not their fault. We've just never
course.
had the information or the studies that we could actually have this conversation about nowadays. So the more we can do podcasts like this, the more studies that come out on women for women, then younger generations are going to be able to pick up on this and start to educate the younger generation on it and
That's right.
work with it. So finally we're getting that information out there.
The right information.
Yeah, it's only taken 50 years.
Yeah.
It's never too late. Better late than never.
Your turn.
Yeah. So, why does fat distribution change in midlife? This is a question for you.
Whoa, that's a big one. Everything we're talking about is down to our hormonal shift, and because we're not having that estrogen and where it helps to distribute the fat evenly across the body, it tends to and to be honest, a lot of studies don't even know why it's still put in this region of women, but that's where it goes.
Yes.
So
the waist gets bigger.
The waist gets bigger, and what happens as well, which is more important, it's not about the body, it is about the body fat that goes there, but it's what that brings, because we are then prone to a lot more heart disease, because we catch men up quite quickly in terms of cardiovascular disease, because it's quite close to the organs. So
it's called the visceral fat.
The visceral fat,
which
correct.
is inside, which anyone with a big belly has a visceral fat.
Yeah. So you know that happens, and we can see it happening as we start to go into this menopause and postmenopausal stage.
You know, before menopause, the distribution of fat goes usually because of estrogen to your buttocks and your thighs. This is how you're more woman. And then after that, the distribution differs.
It stops,
Yeah.
I've got quite a few women who say their butts actually disappear when they get to the postmenopause. So obviously, hopefully we'll talk about some strength
and some
training
genetics,
soon.
of course,
Yeah.
act with this.
Yeah,
some
of
genetics.
course.
Some people do not have that as a big problem.
And it's a real shame, because, you know, I've worked with women that have really done all they possibly can. You know, they've looked at their nutrition, they're not overtraining, they're doing the right
They're
things.
eating well.
They're right things, but it's still not shifting. And it's definitely that hormonal shift that they've got to be more aware of and work with rather than against,
That's
for sure.
right. Okay, my turn. Perimenopause starts only when periods stop. That's what.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Perimenopause is perimenopause. We can be in it for anywhere between 4 and 10 years. What we're talking about today is every woman is different, of course. So, and you've got perimenopause, and then when your periods start to fluctuate and eventually stop, you'll go into a phase called menopause. And actually, menopause is just one day.
Yeah.
It's a flip switch from menopause to post. So when you have no periods for a whole year, that's
Then
when you
you
go
are-
into postmenopause. So your periods could fluctuate for years when you're in the perimenopausal stage.
And also, we have to tell women that after 1 year of the period stops, any spot of blood is called bleeding. It's not a period. So she has to seek help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
And also, it's genetic, by the way. The age when you have perimenopause to menopause depends on the woman in your family. You're the same. You will be almost.
I think to add to that caveat is that, because my mum smoked, okay?
Yes.
I've never smoked.
But smoking.
I'm healthier, so that has a bigger.
Of
The
course.
lifestyle has
Of
an
course.
impact as well.
Yeah.
So as much as it's genetic, it's definitely to do
course.
with your lifestyle.
That's right.
Yeah. I couldn't look at my mum and say, oh, I'm going to go through the menopause like my mum. Thank gosh I didn't.
You worked on yourself.
I worked on
first.
myself. Yeah. Yeah. All right. A myth to bust. Strength training isn't important for bone health early on.
It is very important.
It's my favorite
I
topic.
think a question for all of us.
We could do a podcast on the whole of this.
It's a question for all of us. It's very important. It's how you prepare yourself for preventing fractures and preventing osteoporosis. So strength training is training with weights and doing hard exercise. So this makes more muscles. Muscles will hold your bone. So you will have less fractures and less osteoporosis if you're prepared for that. So it is important.
But I also think as well, you know, women, when we say strength training, especially being a coach,
that's why
a lot of women go, I don't want to look like a man, I don't have muscles. But now that narrative has changed. Like women, okay, we don't want to look like men because we're not.
Of course.
But we want to look strong and healthy. Strong and healthy has way taken over slim and skinny, you know. So I think once we flip that mindset of why we want to get into the gym and do strength training, it's so important. And, you know, obviously, yes, it has osteopenia, osteoporosis. Hip fractures are the number one killer in the UK.
Yes.
And it's not the fracture, it's your lifestyle that kills you after
you stop
it.
moving.
Yeah.
You need help.
Yeah.
And this is a very big issue, by the way.
So, you know.
And usually if you fracture a hip, there is a possibility 30 to 50% that you would die within 2-3 years.
Yeah. And that's
is
frightening,
very
isn't
sad.
it?
It is.
Yeah, it's really frightening.
Yeah.
So going back to strong pelvis,
Yes.
strong, you know, just a strong structure doesn't mean that you have to look muscly. It just means you look fit, healthy, strong.
Yeah. And you look more
internally.
beautiful. Your body is
Your posture, is better.
Not to mention the muscle mass itself, because
The muscle mass,
if we don't do anything, we eventually naturally just start losing muscle mass as we age.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think women who train with to change the way they look to be similar to men they take some hormones.
It's a whole different, you know.
Yeah. I think you see
ball
this a
game,
lot.
I think, I think for women that just do their natural strength in strength training,
we want to be strong. That's it.
Yeah, and I
Not
think
muscular, but strong.
No, you
To
touched
improve our mobility as well.
Yes,
as
mobility,
we age,
flexibility, and I think it's having that whole round, like doing your yoga, your meditation, your strength training, your running. You know, having a mix of things that you enjoy, because HIIT training also plays its part. You mentioned muscles, okay? As we go into the menopause stage, and definitely post, the muscle mass is really declining.
Yes.
So the more we can stimulate that muscle growth, obviously has a bigger impact on our bones as well. So we stimulate the mitochondria in the muscle, and that helps to make the muscles become stronger and
of course
bigger. If you know, we can get strong and bigger
of course,
in
we
this
can.
age.
At any age, by the way.
Yeah.
Up to you.
My turn? Okay. Why women dismiss symptoms until they're extreme?
Because they're used to this. They're told always, it will get better, you'll be better. I've been through this and nothing happened to me. That's why.
It's the same.
But I would like to give advice for every woman and every girl to please do not dismiss any symptom you have. You have to go to a doctor. You have to speak to the doctor about your symptoms. It might be something simple, it will go away, but it might be something serious that you're missing, that you can get help. Like there's a very small example about little girls, young girls, who have pain in their periods. It's called dysmenorrhea. And they're told it's normal, just take any analgesic and that's it. And if they come to a gynecologist and do an ultrasound, you'll find that they have a disease called endometriosis. It's they have cysts on their ovaries, and they bleed every time they have their period in that cyst in the ovary. So it's very painful. And they were told for years and years, just take your analgesic, put your hot water bottle, and you'll be fine.
They thought it's normal and
Yes,
just
it's normal.
live with it. But it's important to remind them that just because something is
Just
common
go and check.
doesn't mean it's normal.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think the other thing of that as well, women tend to justify their symptoms. Like, oh, it's because of I'm stressed, or because I've got too much work, or so we don't categorize it, and we don't have that missing link or put the links together. So because a lot of symptoms that we go through from periods to post is very similar to our day-to-day stresses, like anxiety, mood swings. I can go through that on a day-to-day basis, but that doesn't mean it's because of my menopause. It's because of my daily life. So it's how do we figure that out? And again, it comes down to understanding who you are as a woman. What external stresses do you have that could be causing this, and what's physically and emotionally?
I think also because we struggle throughout our lives.
Yeah, we just get on with it, and we've been told to do that for
with
years.
pregnancy, with delivery, and then perimenopause.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah.
We're used to this. Okay. It's a question for me. What feels like to hear everything is normal? I think we've answered
just
this
discussed
question. Okay, let's go for another question. Why women need more than medical... Okay, sorry. That's the same question.
Have you got all your questions in your hands?
Yeah. How fear grows, then changes aren't explained. That's a question for you.
How fears
Grow when changes aren't explained.
I think that comes down to education, doesn't it? Like, because if the fear is not knowing,
the fear of the unknown,
yes. And we've lived in that world for such a long time, but now we know. Now we can embrace it, and I think that's really important for the younger generation to embrace what knowledge is coming out now, so that they don't have to go through, especially what I went through. And I class myself as still being young, but I'm 55. But my generation had no clue what perimenopause was. So I think it's knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more choices, you can make better choices, and the more options you have to navigate whatever stage you're at, from peri to post or periods.
Noor?
Yeah. Let's do another one.
I have one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
A myth to bust. Oh my God, it's the same question. Sorry about that. Okay. What it feels like finally understand your body.
This is a good one.
It's a question for all of us.
Yeah. For me, I feel that it's given me lots of empowerment into trusting myself and trusting my intuition, my gut feeling. So, for example, when I was in the process of getting a diagnosis, I went to so many doctors, but I didn't feel that the advice I was given felt right for me. So knowing myself, knowing my body gave me this empowerment to know that what I feel matters, not to just take any advice and move forward. So I think that it's really crucial. Tracking your cycle, knowing your body and what type of symptoms are you experiencing, at what phase of the cycle, gives you this empowerment when you're speaking with a doctor to know what questions to ask, when to look for a second opinion. All of these things should be common knowledge, but actually a lot of the time we just listen and just accept the answer that we're given without doing much thinking more about it.
So knowledge is power.
It is, and I think knowing your own body and knowing that especially when you start to get these symptoms, the symptoms are normal.
Yeah.
But it's not normal to suffer, and it's not normal to just let go, get on with it. And I think that's the difference. When I was going through perimenopause, I had no clue. I was fit, healthy, looked after myself, but my body was changing. And then I, discovered this word, perimenopause, and I thought, okay, am I the only one going through it? Which I felt like it was at that time. But I think community is a powerful thing,
absolutely.
because it makes you realize that you're not on your own.
No.
It is normal, but it's not
everyone
normal.
will go through it.
Yeah, everyone will go through. Yeah. We're going to have periods. We're going to have menopause. So how do we navigate that and just, make sure that you empower yourself so that you make those choices and not, we're all governed by social media, and there's loads of stuff out there, but
not everything is right.
Not everything's right, but you once you've got that power, you bring the knowledge in what's right for you, and you act on that. And I think that's the key.
Okay, I have a question for you, Noor. It's how do hormones affect injury risk and recovery? I think it's a question for both of you.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
I think because of that hormonal shift, and obviously as we're going through our menstrual cycle, we are very prone to injury in certain areas of the cycle. So as coaches, as trainers, we really need to be aware of where our client or patient is, I guess, as we train them, because we can injure them.
Yeah.
And then they're not getting enough recovery, and that's when the injuries start as well. So
sometimes I wonder, I see trainers injured. They do not only injure.
Overtraining. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the key, and especially in groups like football coaches, any kind of team sports, they're generally trained as a team, where every woman will be on their different cycles. So understanding what that is and what that looks like
makes a difference.
Has actually scientifically proved to make the team stronger, and obviously make the individuals stronger and less prone to injury as well.
My question here also for you and me, what's the difference between a gynecologist and a hormonal therapist, and when should a woman see each?
That's a very good question. So I'm a menstrual cycle coach. I know the basics of the hormones and what happens throughout the important life transitions in a woman's life. So I'm here to guide women to improve their lifestyle habits, to work on improving their nutrition. It's not my place to diagnose. It's not my place to treat or prescribe medication or anything like that. So I work in collaboration with a doctor. When I see a woman that's struggling through something, I can pinpoint. I have my gut feeling that something's going on, but then I refer her to a doctor to get a proper diagnosis, and then we can work on how to treat the root cause of the problem through lifestyle changes and diet.
Thank you. This is also a question for you. Why women feel betrayed by workouts that once worked? Or maybe it's for Sharon.
I think it's more appropriate for Sharon,
Well, I think going back in history, everything that I was taught in my education as being a personal trainer and a coach, we've always gone on the data of men, because all the studies have been done on men.
All the money is going for the studies for men.
All the studies is going for men as well. So I think now we are in a generation where studies have been done on us, thank God, and we can learn more from that. So all this one size fits all is long gone.
Yes.
Like, those do not work anymore, or they should not work anymore. And women are being more educated not to fall down that path.
And also the picture has changed. Like in the past, we were always looking for the slim figure, and now this has changed.
I'm an 80s.
So the workouts has changed.
Yeah, I'm an 80s chick. I was brought
Jane
up on
Fonda.
roller coaster diets. Cut this out, do that, keto. Everything has its place.
Yes.
But whether it's right for you or right for the masses, that's the question. So
Thank you. We have a myth to bust. Birth control fixes hormonal problems. It's for me. Okay. Yes, actually. Birth hormones is one of the best ways to control any hormonal imbalance. Of course, after diagnosis, the right diagnosis, is there an underlying disease or not? If there is an underlying disease, we have to treat it. Sometimes we do not have an underlying disease and there's irregular menstruation, hormones are very perfect. Then the best way to control either irregular bleeding or to regulate your cycle is birth control pills. And sometimes it's good even in endometriosis, which is a disease, in sometimes PCOS, polycystic ovary disease.
But can I just ask, though, that some doctors just naturally just give a hormonal birth control for whatever reason, and I think that
I do
has
not agree with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. And
So they've got to be very specific.
of course,
specific
but
on
it
what they're
does
doing.
really regulate. Yes,
Yeah.
it's the best way to regulate,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel that of course it has its place, but just like you mentioned, that I feel it's over prescribed for any type of symptom without really knowing exactly, and without really giving awareness about the side effects that can happen. Understanding that when you're on hormonal birth control, your diet needs are different. It can take from your stores of minerals and vitamins, so knowing how to supplement when needed, how to change your nutrition, and actually getting to the root cause of the problem. So if we're fixing just spotting or irregular cycles, hormonal birth control is good for that. But if there's a deeper issue like PCOS, for example, just going on birth control will not fix
It
the
will
issue.
not fix, of course.
Once you stop the birth control,
But
the problem will happen
regulate
again.
her
It will
period, and she'll
regulate
be happy.
temporarily.
Yeah, when she stops, everything goes
Everything
back.
will come back again. So we're
Yes.
not actually fixing the root cause. That's
But
why.
also the oral contraceptive pills, we have new generations.
Yeah.
So the hormonal dose is very low. So the side effects are really very low.
They're
not
minimal.
like before.
Not like
They're
No,
minimal.
not
what
like
we were brought
before.
up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say, just that to create this awareness that this is not enough. We still need to work on lifestyle and
course.
nutrition
Of course.
along with it. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm done with my
Yeah,
comments.
it's my turn now. Okay. Menopause means hormones stop mattering. Interesting.
I think because when we talk about the menopause, we always talk about estrogen, progesterone, and
Yeah.
testosterone. What we don't talk about is what those three have an impact on the rest of the hormones that we have in our system, like, leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, insulin. So it does matter, or our whole hormonal profile changes. So, we have to be aware of why it's changing, when it changes, and what we do to either top that up or, our brain is rewiring because we don't have that hormonal profile anymore. So being aware of that and looking for the options of what we do to help that, I think is really important. So it's really, really relevant, even in post-menopause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody knows why the decline happens, by the way. It's a sharp decline.
Yeah.
Very sharp.
Yeah.
That's why we have symptoms.
They can come, some women wake up and go from one day to the next, they
Yes.
feel different. And we've lived with that for such a long time with our
Yeah.
periods, haven't we? But it's understanding why that happens.
Yeah.
And it does start from perimenopause. It doesn't just, it
Of
doesn't
course.
happen overnight.
It's not
The signs
just-
are there, like you said earlier. The signs are there. We just need to be switched on with them.
Yeah. Okay, next. What does a healthy cycle look like in puberty? This is for you.
Okay. In puberty, it means her first cycles. Okay. Sometimes, as you said before, that a girl might have first period and then it stops for 6 months and then she gets irregular cycle. Sometimes it stops for a whole year and then it starts again. This is normal as long as it's still in the beginning. After that, she's supposed to have regular cycles. Regular cycles can be from 21 to 35 days. It means if you have your period every 21 days, you're still regular, but you have short periods. If you have your period every 35 days, it's still regular. So any change from 3 to 5 before or after your expected menstruation is considered regular. There's no need to go and run to a doctor. So this is irregular. And the cycle, the period itself, the menstruation itself, it stays from 2 to 7 days. Depends. So we differ.
Yeah,
We're not the
everybody's
same.
different.
Yeah.
I just on cycles. When I first came to the UAE, I worked with a lot of Arab women and they used to disappear for like 10, 15 days. And I was like, where are they going? They go, oh, we can't train on our cycle.
This is a myth.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely a myth. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring that up. It's like you said, the cycle is between a couple of days to 7 days.
Yeah.
So there's no real reason why you can't train. It's just you change your training
Yeah.
accordingly
You
to
adapt.
the cycle that you're on.
The problem is that they tell their daughters when you have your cycle, you have to rest. You don't have to go to school.
I was
You
like,
don't
what
you
is
don't
this?
train. It's the opposite. When you
Yeah.
train, by the way, when you're on your period and you train, the pain is much less.
Yeah.
And
Even
you're
the amount
actually
of
stronger
blood
as well.
Yeah,
on the
even the
first
amount
couple
of blood
days.
is less.
Yeah.
So that's a myth.
Okay, next. How does stress amplify menopause symptoms?
Good question. I think it goes back to what we said before. As we're going through the menopause, we're at a certain stage of life where we're probably at the height of our careers. We've got children, we've got empty nest syndrome, we are changing partners, whatever might be. So because we haven't got that steady flow of hormones that we had, we could rely on to keep our anxiety and stress levels down, it's elevated. So I think understanding where our stress levels come from, first and foremost, trying to get rid of what doesn't serve us anymore in terms of stress. Do we put stress on ourselves? As women, we tend to do that. We take on a lot of responsibilities. So it's shedding things that we can let go of, within reason, and then working on our own sort of trajectory of where we want to be on that spectrum. So menopause does elevate it. I remember, like, I'm a really confident driver, but there was a phase where I got in the car and I was like a nervous wreck. I was like jumping at the side of a car, but that wasn't me, And it was a phase that I was going through, but it wasn't because I was highly stressed. It was because my calm progesterone and estrogen levels weren't in balance, and it was just sending me wacky. So I just didn't know what was happening. So it does elevate it for sure.
Of course.
So it's just being mindful of it and acknowledging it, so that we can do something about it.
Yeah, awareness is really important. Once
Of
you know
course.
what's
Once you know what it
going on,
is. Yeah. I think I have a question.
Yeah.
What should women prioritize hormonally after menopause? I think we've had that question. I picked from the wrong pile. Discuss why perimenopause feels confusing. I think we've sort of discussed that really, but I think it's confusing because there's so much going on in our lives, and I think we've already touched on that. So it's, again, understanding where you are, having that diary and going to the right person, whether it is with Nora or myself, for example, to have that, map it out, what's going on, and then we can then say, right, okay, you need to go see here or here, and that's I think that's the case, instead of holding on to
tailored according,
it's tailored
according to
and I think
the woman.
I think there's nothing when women are going through these changes. It's very, very individual.
Yes.
I've never known it before, even for myself, how individual it is. Weight loss they say it's individual, but we've all gone on these diets and we've all lost weight and we've all gained weight. But I think as we transition through these stages, it's so individual.
That's right.
It's phenomenal.
Okay.
I have one last question. Weight gain is always about calories. What do you think?
No, sometimes, of course, calories is very important. Sometimes there's water retention, as we're talking about hormones. Of course, progesterone is the main reason for water retention that you get even premenstrual, always. Yep. Every girl or woman would say, I always gain 2 to 3 kilos before I get my period, and once I get my period, it's gone. So that's because of the weight, because of the water retention.
And I think as well,
and of course the distribution of fat that we talked about, it's different.
And I think the calories, associated with weight, again, it's old school. The number on the scale doesn't tell you your body composition, and it's so important that women understand that muscle mass weighs more than fat. So we're going to be heavier on the scale.
Of course, but you look better.
But you look better, feel better, and from everything that we've discussed today. So I think getting that. I had a conversation with my sister quite quickly over the weekend, and she said to me, I've stopped going on the treadmill because I gain weight every time I exercise. I was like, I'm going to, anyway, I calmed down and I had a conversation with her. I was like, of course you will, because you're holding water retention when we train. And, again, it's that education around it. So, again, it's that mindset.
Of course.
And it's shifting. It's shifting. You should push through your hormonal fatigue.
Ooh. I always say that rest is productive. I'm famous to say that because a lot of women think that they need to push through whatever symptom that they're feeling, pushing through fatigue, through stress, feeling that if they take time to rest, that they are counterproductive, that they're doing something wrong. They feel guilty about taking time for rest, which I feel that it makes things worse. You're increasing your cortisol levels, and you eventually go into a state of burnout. So it's a shift in mindset again, as you said, that actually listening to my body and how it's communicating to me. And when I feel that my body is asking for rest, I should rest. And this is actually the productive thing to do.
And actually rest is where the recovery and the growth is.
Yes.
Not when we're training hard in the gym, you know, walking out of the gym exhausted. Yes, it gives you a good feeling, but that you need the recovery
of course,
in between as well. So yeah. Am I the only? I've got one left.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sleep. A myth to bust. Sleep problems in midlife are unrelated to hormones.
They are. That's a myth. So mostly they are, because one of the hormones that decline in midlife or perimenopause is progesterone. It gives you very good sleep when you have progesterone as a hormone replacement. One more thing is women, when they're going through the perimenopause, they have what we call hot flashes. And when they have the hot flashes, when they sleep, they sweat. And this makes you wake up. This makes you interrupted sleep, so you cannot sleep well. So these are the two reasons, of course. So when you address these two problems, I think your sleep will get better with time, of course.
And I think we were discussing earlier about sleep hygiene is so important, getting into a routine, going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time.
Avoiding screens.
Avoiding screens for the melatonin production, your natural melatonin production to sort of kick in, which is roughly around about, 8, 9 o'clock at night, I think.
Mostly women at this age, they go to see a psychiatrist and they're given sleeping pills or antidepressants. It also makes you sleep well, better.
Yeah.
But the root cause is not addressed.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot we can do in terms of our sleep hygiene to help us sleep as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, the night sweats and stuff, there are things that we can take to help with those as well, to give us, and going back to getting up and going to the bathroom late at night as well, that also wakes women up. So looking at UTIs and all that kind of stuff,
and urge incontinence.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Any more questions?
I think we're done.
I think so.
So from all this information today, then what would be your number one takeaway for the listeners?
Okay, my takeaway message is take care of yourself, nutrition-wise, exercise, and your regular visits to your doctor. And always teach yourself to know better, because as we said, knowledge is power.
No?
Beautiful. I think I would say that it's important to understand that hormones, a lot of diseases can be preventive. So if we work on our health, we form good habits and we're eating well, generally having a healthy lifestyle, there's so much that can be prevented early on. Just like we don't wait for diabetes to look at our blood sugar levels, we shouldn't wait for a big problem to happen to address hormonal issues. So the earlier we start having healthy habits, the better. Exactly. We can be much healthier and feel better when we're taking good care of ourselves.
I think for me, it's having conversations, breaking the taboo, the stigma, because as women, we need to have those conversations so that we can pass that down to the next generation so they learn. Understanding that you're not alone. It's absolutely normal to be feeling how you feel. But what's not normal is holding it in, and suffering. We don't need to suffer anymore. And I think that's the key. Get into communities, understand you're not alone, and there are many, many women who can help you go through these phases, whether it's from your periods to post-menopause. I think embrace it, and then you'll thrive. Thrive.
Thrive.
Well said.